Hello, everybody. Linda here from Curtin Creative Galleries, here to read the last few chapters of The Spending of a Life's Breath by Amanda Grace Windward. I hope you're still with me. We are on chapter 39, Valentine's Day. 9:30 p.m. Mandy's journals continue. I wonder where Roger is. What is he doing? How is he feeling? Can he feel? Or is he buried in alcohol with his harlot? Is it painful for him to allow himself to feel? Is that the problem? Can God save him? Can you save him for us too? Should you, God? Or do we have to look away and go to another life path you have chosen for us? And how, Lord, will I know? February 4th, 2001. Mandy writes a poem. Valentine's Day. Valentine's Day is coming, and it would have come and gone if we were still together, like we did once belong. I did not need the candy with a velvet or satin bow. I believed you loved me, Roger, even when it did not show. I did not feel us bending from the heavy loads we bore. I thought we were invincible and will together, I was sure. While together, I was sure. I did not see us breaking with Marcelina in your eye, and now gets the candy while I am left to cry. I didn't need the candy. You were enough for me, but she will need that satin bow and more. Someday you'll see. You're with self-centered woman now, not me. Andy writes, I found a Valentine card you bought for me a while ago, or a daughter bought for me for you to give to me. Not sure. It was a sparkling shaped heart. In it you wrote, I know this is early, but I couldn't wait. I love you. And you signed the card, me. You always sign things me instead of Roger or my husband. I wonder if you sign your cards to Marcelina, me, or do you sign them Roger? And if you sign it me, do you feel kind of strange or wrong? And if you sign it Roger, is it because this is who you really are and I never really knew you for who you were? I must wonder, and why did you fight for me, my hand in marriage anyways? February 10th, 2001, Saturday's Mandy's Journal. My daughter Jennifer had her baby today, a 9-pound, 2-ounce baby girl, 20 inches long. She had her at 3:08 this afternoon. Her name is Elia. She already has a son, Jaden, who was born December 18th, 1999. So they are just 14 months apart. February 17th, 2001, Saturday. Roger visited Warren and Jack at our house for a couple of hours. He said that they wouldn't be going up to Marcelina's anymore because he met with the boys' counselor at last. And she told him it wasn't good for them at this time at Marcelina's house. She told Roger it's not good for him to shove her in their face, making them work in her yard for her each visit instead of spending quality time with them. So he agreed to see the boys at our family home for a few hours on his Saturday visits that he is supposed to have with them, and not pressure them to go up to Marcelina's or visit with her sister to work for them in their yards anymore during their visits. February 2001 still. Mandy writes a poem. Please do not tempt me is the title. Please do not tempt me. It will not do us good. It could even ruin a friendship or be misunderstood. To grow it larger could be wrong, and it is not fair to string along. I can live with friendship, enjoy each day. With you near, I can go on this way. To share your life is all I need, as long as we never water the seed. It might grow like a beanstalk and take over the heart, but it could only tear us apart. There is too much between us to take such a chance on what would be a quick fling. Our moments of romance. Love's intention is to last forever, not just a moment's pleasure. To me it means so much more. It's what I've always waited for, a forever love. Waste not, want not. I get her point. February 25th, 2001. How do I feel? Due to my period, so more anxious and double confused, not very easy to do my work or concentrate. Struggling to focus, seeing double. I thought I brought my bag with my bills in it so I could fax the past 2 months' car insurance bills to Donna at the insurance office to show her the mistakes they had made that my daughter Jennifer figured out for me. But I guess I grabbed the wrong one, so it will have to wait. I hope I can remember to do it in the morning. I have got to get to Staples to get the memory message thing the neurologist told me to get to help me with my memory and writing problems, not just doing my journal. I just called Mom to see if she still has the tape recorder we had years ago. I lent her. He said I should use that too. She does. I may have to get more batteries and blank tapes though. I also just talked to my niece about considering to do some MIMS work hours at my work. The neurologist said it's best if I cut back some of the hours. Now I understand why, when I worked with a client helping with her simple math homework, I was brain dead on the simplest problems. I always had to do my math with pencil and paper, not just in my head when I was in school. But I could do it as fast as the next guy. But now it totally blitzes me. Like the doctor said, Mandy, you will not attempt to do math without a calculator. I certainly can see why. A calculator shall now become one of my best friends, and a recorder and an instant playback will be my memory. So I must remember before I go to Washington next week for the training I have to go to at work. I need to get a good calculator with a spell check and a memory type tape recorder gadget to tell me what to do step by step throughout the day and help me remember from one moment to the next. Because I have, the neurologist said, short-term amnesia from my fall. That's one of my strongest problems. That's what's been causing so much. The neurologist said, that is why I can't remember what happened 5 minutes ago. How frighteningly true. Maybe that new tape recorder will, with a push button playback, will help me be able to hold on to my joy. I'll pick up the regular tape recorder from Mom's house to tape the training sessions so I can go over it and over it and over it later until my memory can maybe hold it. Where am I going to get the money for all this? Plus save money to go on the trip, of course. The travel is paid for, at least, by the school program that's sending me. I can't afford to buy any clothes to wear, though, but somehow I'll make do with what I have. February 26, 2001, 7:15 a.m., Monday. How do I feel? Well, I just worked 24 hours straight and chopped ice outside all night here at work, the ice storm. So it kept other staff from coming in to relieving me. I don't even mind that. I only wish Warren and Jack had their father home with them when I'm stuck away here at work. Or vice versa. I hate that they must be left alone so much. 30 years of raising mostly other people's children, my husband's siblings' children. I bet you're feeling all cozy and safe and protected from the storms with a big, strong Roger to take care of everything for you, Marcelina. While having my husband and father of my children in your home to shovel you out and keep you warm, waiting on you hand and foot and fixing things for you while you tempt him with your alcohol-sprinkled string, all while his sons are left alone during the storm in our unfinished home that shadows their father's abandonment of them, just for you, you sweet so-called Christian. February 26, 2001, 8 a.m., Monday, still at work. I wrote a poem. Mandy wrote a poem. The Wish is the title. If there was truly a wish that I could make, it would be that my heart you did not wish to break. I would wish that I woke in the morning and knew that I would be lying in our bed beside you. I would wish all our years you could not forsake, and knew deep inside you were making a mistake, that you see leaving us was the worst thing to do, because our marriage and our children were more important to you. You say we are through. It's as if I were never part of you. I breathed you, I loved you, and believed our love strong. And now, 30 years later, you say had strung me along. How could I have been so wrong? Are you truly weak and selfish and cold-hearted too? Or did your bypass surgery rob the memories from you? We had good times with a family that was proud and is proud still. But if you choose booze and that harlot, our golden years you will kill. They say all will be evened by our Lord in due time. His words I must remember when he says, vengeance is mine. I'm sorry you are sick and you are so lost in the dark. I'll pray for you forever, even though you broke my heart. I can't believe you could be happy, even though you say you might. Till you see what you are doing, you can't begin to make things right. You can pretend that you are happy while your family suffers so. You don't see the pain you're causing. You don't know. I can't believe it's so. Please stop what you are doing. Just send that booze and tramp away. I'm sure that God will help us if we'd get on our knees and pray. Roger, I still want to love you. This may be the most difficult mountain we have ever climbed together, but can't we somehow fix all this and make our life a blessing again? That was the end of chapter 39. Now, to move on to chapter 40. Remember, our agreement is the title of chapter 40. March 4th, 2001. To Roger, remember our agreement about thought, word, and deed? You broke our promise to let each other know if we were ever tempted before it went too far. If you thought of another person, flag. If you talked to another person, flag. You skipped right to the deed without ever giving us a chance. I didn't have a clue. Then you and she claim we haven't been in love for a long time. You and I? Well, Roger, my heart never stopped beating for you, even if yours did for me. I always believed in you and me. Roger, I would never have cheated around like you did, or I could never give myself to someone else without giving us every chance to save our marriage first. Shame on you. That process takes many chosen steps down a cheating path before you get to the point where you have to take in it. I can't believe you and Marcelina did this to us at the time in our life when we should have been preparing our relationship for the final episode of our life together, retirement and grandchildren and great-grandchildren, and seeing the results of our many years together. You did this to us. You leave a life of goodness, honor, and decency to chase a skirt with a wine glass that never had a child, and you dive with her into a life of dishonesty, indecency, and cruelty to your family and to me. What has happened to the man I married, the man I believed lived to be worked to be a better man than his father was to him and his mother? The man who was trying to be the best man he could be, the man who built a life with me and our children that we could be so proud of. How can you give this all up to chase that harlot? I hate her. She is dragging you to hell with her. She was pretending to want to be my friend. She said she is like just a sister to you. I let her into my home, and I let her ask so much from us. I tried to help her out when she asked, and she admired our life together, she said. How was I to know she was just trying to get her foot so deep in our life she could destroy our life together? Roger, I love you. I wish we could erase this last year and get back on a good, God-blessed life with our family again. But if not, I continue to die. I don't want to see that harlot playing any more meaner games with our children and family. She is the woman at the well Jesus warns men of. I trusted you, believed in you, and you took advantage of my trust and used me, and now you throw me away. You gave me the house, but with thousands of dollars in past debt with it, and more than thousands of dollars worth of bills coming due, like the taxes, insurance company demands on the property to fix things you promised to them would be done by now. So they threatened to cancel the home insurance, plus thousands of dollars in work stock needed to finish the house just to a livable state. Can't you leave and still care enough about us to help us here? And you take the stock and tools with you? Why does it have to be all and nothing? It is hard to believe you would leave us without heat over Christmas vacation week like you just did. Refuse to come help us with the furnace. As part of your trade, learned while with me, yet you won't help us out. She gets your skills and we get nothing. Was this still to prove to Marcelina we mean nothing to you? I know you tried hard to live a good life and be decent, and I know, and now it was, and I know it was not easy for you, but please leave her and find your way home to try again to be a good man. Your kids will forgive you and put you back up on the pedestal again. I love you still. I miss the husband of my youth. I don't want to shut out how I loved you. I loved you so much I thought about you throughout my day, and I thought you thought about me. You called me every day from work up until the day you left. So why wouldn't I believe it? I was delighted with each call. I always told you how much I loved you. I loved the way your eyes twinkled when you laughed and would close so tightly. If we were driving, you couldn't even see if you were laughing. I loved to see you joyful. If I thought what you are doing now with Marcelina could really make you happy in the long run, maybe I could learn to be happy for you, but not at our family's expense. Please try to be fair and kind to us here at home where you belong. We worked so hard all these years to give our family a sense of security and surety and family unity, especially for our adopted children who already felt losses in their lives. I cannot believe you would allow all that to be taken from them. You have torn down all that we spent 30 years building. Our family strength and wholeness has been crushed by the hand of my own husband and father of our children, all for a harlot, Marcelina. Who knows what who knows what made you the selfish home wrecking harlot you are, Marcelina. Maybe if I knew I could feel sorry for you. But you were born to parents that never taught you the true value of life, the way God intended for people to be towards each other. For you to pursue a married man and father of all these children is so low. For you to keep him from his children now and keep pulling him away from Warren and Jack when he is with them is so childish and selfish and mean and cruel and immature for an old woman like yourself. You do not care about Roger's children or their tears. The thought that Roger could be so bewitched by you makes me sick. You are a lying, conniving adulteress with no heart or soul. God, what do you think? Is this the way you thought it might go? Is this the way you wanted it to all to go, God? Is this really to build something else? I feel it is just to tear down everything. I feel like we are losing ourselves to this evil witch. Is the sun ever going to shine again or come up again? Will the gray clouds ever roll away from us? I can't believe I didn't see this coming. Will I ever breathe a normal breath again? And am I always going to be this weak and helpless feeling? How can I stand up again? Who am I? Where am I? Where is the strong, brave, and hopeful person I used to be? When will this pain go away? Will it ever ease? Am I keeping it going? Am I making it my hurtful pleasure? Is this me, who I am now? Are you there, God? Is any of this real? Please, no. Let me wake from this nightmare, please, Lord. Keep the Holy Spirit in my heart close during this time of confusion. Protect me from my angry, judging heart, and give me the gift of knowing Jesus' forgiving heart. Amen. March 5th, 2001, Monday. At work, storm patrols shift, inclement weather, and some staff are homesick. How do I feel? Well, a bit tired. I'm basically an early to bed and early to rise sort of girl, but now that I work so many crazy hours and into the night, I just get less sleep because I still get up early. I just don't feel rested anymore. But that could be from the depression too, and my head problem. I guess. I spend hours in between working today trying to figure out my new messenger tape recorder. It will be my memory where I'm having so much trouble with this one. Mine, I guess. I'm not a girl anymore anyway. 52 years old, but I wish he knew what love is. I wish he could love me and his children and grandchildren enough to give a care about what this is doing to us. He called Warren and Jack on Thursday to see what they were doing this weekend. They were going to Blueberry Hill with the church, camping and sledding. I think I have got to find a way to be home with them more. It's time to give them something to fill some of the emptiness left by Roger moving away from them and spending all his time on Marcelina and not them. God help me to stop hating them for doing that to all of us. You'd think he could at least try harder to make it up to the children. She replaced me, but what replaced them? Her dogs? Are you watching the dogs, Roger? March 5th, 2001. How do I feel? I wish I wasn't wrapped so tightly in this weight. I'm heavy. I wish the only pleasure felt in the past 24 hours wasn't in the Franco-American spaghetti I ate warm in the middle of the night shift. I wish I didn't miss him so much. I wish I didn't feel a strong need to see something awful happen to Marcelina before she seals this awful crime against my family by marrying my husband next week. I hope they do not do this sin in front of a congregation. Let them go hide it with a JP if they must do this thing. I cannot stand picturing them smiling into each other's eyes, looking into each other's eyes as they say the words that seal this horrid sin between them, condemning them to hell for all eternity if they don't ever, ever, ever see it for what it is. Roger, please, please get your head out of the bottle and take the adulterous woman out of your eye and see what you are doing. Please stop this craziness. Please try to go away from this evil again and get rid of this evil against our life together and come home to your family. Please don't let it be too late. Why can't I go and let God? Why can't I let go and let God? Why can't I wait patiently to see what God has for a plan for me and my children? Why can't I trust and be not afraid like God says? I must remember God has all of us in his hands. He will never abandon us like my husband did. March 5th, 2001. So, Marcelina, do you really believe the good Lord, does not hear the cries of this woman and her children you have sinned against? Do you think God can so easily forgive you for these sins you continue to make in the name of love? You seem to have no remorse. So how could he forgive you? Tempting my husband of my youth and 30 years of our marriage away with your selfish, sin-filled, sweet, seductive, selfish desires and the so-called innocent words mixed with the wine you tempted him with, that you very well knew was his weakness and downfall. Do you really think God blesses this year? You've kept my husband locked in your black widow spell in your home, shut away from his wife and children and family and friends, brainwashing him away from his memory of the good life he set out to share with me so many years ago. To receive forgiveness, you should feel sorry for what you do and try to make amends to seek forgiveness. You continue down the dark path Satan has cut out for you, and continue to drag my husband with you like an evil magnet, despite my prayers for you to release him, to make amends to his family. The Lord listened to me beg you last March on the phone to let my husband go, and you denied my plea and turned away from my tears, all to gain temporary pleasure for you at the expense of our family, a family that was once good and proud and now shatters because of the head of the house setting such a bad example for especially father of 10 sons. Marcelina, God knows your true heart. It's funny how Roger tried to explaining away your relationship by comparing it to his and my relationship in the beginning, as if he was trying to recreate the excitement of new beginnings, free from any children like teenagers again, newlyweds alone with each other. You are you are his fantasy. Nothing of it could be real. You are a barren, evil witch to do this to our family. You are not only barren of children now and forever, for good cause, I'm believing to think, but also barren of any goodness. How could he love you? This is what he chooses over our good life and raising his children and helping people. The life we shared was good and proud. This life with me was not important to him anymore. I'm so ashamed of him. You have no understanding of the love or kind of sacrifice a good wife or mother gives to her family, as all your husbands must know too well, I'm sure. When Roger and I began, I did not steal him away from his wife or his children like you tend to do. We began good and pure together with real hopes and dreams and goals for a good, honorable life under God together. We had something to grow. You don't. What do you grow with him now? Lies, deception, and a sickening, sticky, sweet fake Christianity and alcohol drinking. You ruined not just a family, but a lifetime, a blessed life that could have continued without your interference. But now, because of your evil plan, there is a cancer that destroys much of the goodness that was planted in our family. That has been replaced with fear, uncertainty, dishonor, sadness, and spreads like the evil blackness you planted to my husband when you tempted him to sin against God and his family with the wine, to loosen his spirit and pull him away from God. You offer my husband a life of shame that will make you both hide from God's sight someday when he comes again. God hears my cries and the cries of my poor children, who he robbed of a father to raise them and love them. You may tempt some of the older ones away with your lies, but it will be false joy, and someday they will see you as the sinful, evil woman you are. How much love can they receive from a man tainted with your evil, selfish ways? You let him out of his cage for an hour or two every 14 days to see Warren and Jack if they are lucky, as if this is all that is needed for our sons to get the nourishment of love from their father. And Roger follows you like a dutiful lamb, making a choice that is going to cost these boys and their father a lot. For 1 year, Roger has been free to be with Warren and Jack and Walden and Randy and the 4 youngest as much as he wants. Yet your influence and you keep him busy with chores and the booze, not allowing for them to influence their father or tempt him to come home off the bottle and remember them for a minute again. You will not allow them to mend their broken hearts. You need to still seduce Roger away from being a father or a good man with the alcohol that he and I were able to keep at bay for 25 years, making him a better man until he gave into your temptations. And now it and you have carried him out of our lives. It locks him away behind our reach in an evil darkness. May God have mercy on your soul for this and all you have done, Marcelina. I cannot forgive you. Not that it matters to you, I'm sure, nor can God while you continue to hold fast in this sinning against my family and me. You should release the hold you have on my husband and who remains my husband in God's eyes as he does mine. You are the evil man at the woman at the well in Proverbs 5. You know it, I know it, and I believe God will avenge my tears. May you have all that you deserve and choke on it. As you speak your false lying vows at the mock wedding that Satan blesses, may God release you from the veil of false beauty that covers your evil plan to destroy my marriage and family, and let everyone see you for who you truly are, Satan's spawn. March 5th, 2001, another journal entry. Marcelina, I don't know how long it will take. In God's time, I guess, but I know God hears my prayers for my husband, who has been tempted away from a good, blessed, proud life with me, the wife of his youth and his children, tempted by your sweet lies and the wine which you seduced him with, knowing it to be his weakness. I take partial blame for trusting you and not seeing you for the evil woman you are. You fooled me and tempted Roger away from his family. But one of your biggest sins, I believe, is tempting him away from God. God had a plan for my husband, and I believe this wasn't it. You stopped that plan. You rocked my whole family off our good path. You do this while pretending to be a Christian. You play the part of a sweet innocent in the middle of this whole hell while you let loose your evil plot against my family. What's sad is you seem to be getting away with it, but you and I both know you will not get away with it forever. You are mean and ugly and full of Satan's evil, and it is just a matter of time before God balances the tipped scale for the good guys. God sees the mockery of the marriage you plan. He will avenge the cries of the widow and children. Roger was a good man who struggled with demons, and you let the demons loose on him. I continue to pray for your soul. The Lord says I should pray, forgive us our trespasses as we forgive those who trespass against us. So should you seek forgiveness, I know I should forgive you, and my husband, and take him back. But for now, you and he continue in sin. God will hear my cries. Are you ready to stand before God with this sin? Are you not a little afraid to speak those vows at your wedding to my husband that will condemn you both to hell? May God have mercy on your soul, but I cannot stay and watch what you too may foolish do with my foolish husband. I am so astonished that Roger was such a willing victim or partner of this plan of yours, Marcelina. Like a lamb to slaughter, he followed you. But then again, so did some of my adult children who believed your lies over my truth until it was too late. You weren't just like a sister to me. Then we could not save Roger from your evil plan to take him off to hell with you. But I believe God hears our pain-filled cries for justice. He sees the torment you have inflicted on me and my family. God sees right through your phony Christian painted face. You will one day stand before him and be judged according to your selfish life for what you have done to us. It seems your life is a to monument to your God, the devil. The end of chapter 40, and now we'll move on to chapter 41, titled I Have a Date. March 6, 2001. How do I feel? I have a date. Sunday with John H. They call him Huck Finn. I don't know why. I don't know why I'm going or doing this to myself, except that he is a nice guy and maybe having a friend to talk to can't hurt and might help. He loves his sons, and is a good father. What am I going to do if I end up liking him and him me? Can I just walk away from my marriage as easily as Roger did after 30 years? At least he's been gone a whole year. Even though it feels like we were together yesterday to me, I keep waiting for him to stop this craziness and just come home to us and make things all better. If I open this door more to someone else, will I be able to love again? Will I trust again? Can I be as caring for this other man as I was to my husband? Then what do I do with the love for Roger? Stuff it? What do I do with the pain and anger? Stuff it? How do I manage Roger with the boys? I would love the help and partnership of someone who loves my children and me. Is it possible with another man? Right now, Roger is like the enemy. Marcelina is the enemy, big time. She'd better never come near me or to our weddings, etc. Even of my children's weddings, I hope. I will want to dump water over her head. I'll bring a super soaker. If I let go of my marriage vows and reach out and take another man's hand, if that is even possible, I will no longer be Roger's wife, ever again. I'll be committed to another man. I don't know if I could let go of my husband enough to do that. To share a bed with another man, even if I'm starved for affection. Roger was so skimpy with his affection, I'm not sure if I could get used to the attention a good man may want to share with me. I'm used to it being so one-sided. The more Roger deprived me of our relationship, the more I had to put myself into it and make up for it to keep my love strong for my husband. I'm so afraid of letting my guard down and even thinking about the possibilities of falling in love again with someone else and killing the vows I made to Roger when I married him and said through sickness and health and all, till death I do part. I know he is sick, even more so with his mind. Part of me feels I should stay faithful to be there in case and if he needs me. And then another part of me wants to love and be loved and not look back at any marriage to Roger. God forgive me. What shall I do? Up till now I've kept myself at a safe distance from my male friends, but I think I might allow myself to try and at least to see if I might be able to accept and receive love or some kind of care that I know I deserve from someone. But I'm not sure I can without feeling too much guilt. We shall see. We shall see. We shall see. Still March 2001. It's almost April. I need to drop off my tax papers to Mandy Benton to do. Call Rolly and Randy about the firm and see if it's possible, as soon as possible, plan a plan to go see them. Sir, think, sit, think, observe, plan. I can't afford to continue to be scared, shaky, or tired. I need to will my brain to work again and stop messing up everything I try to do. I can do some MIMS work on Monday, doing laundry with clients, 7:30 to 12:30 Tuesday, 7:30 to 12:30 Wednesday, 7:30 to 12:30. Then I can have Friday and Saturday and Sunday off to be with the boys and give them quality time. March 8th. How do I feel? I sent Roger 2 letters and a postcard from the Washington trip I took for some training for a UNH project. I had hoped to be able to continue, but difficulties with my memory and brain. I could not find my way out of the paper bag, so to speak. If it wasn't for being led around with a group, I may have been lost forever and out of state. It was fun pretending I knew what I was doing, though. Thank goodness I was with someone else who took good care of me. They led me around like a puppet, helping me all the way. I can't seem to even tell my left from my right. Every time I come out of a room, I go in the wrong direction. Even coming out of the restroom, it was extremely frightening and yet exciting at the same time. I kind of need a seeing eye dog, but for my memory. I guess it's not very funny. It is so frighteningly difficult going from places, even room to room, and doing things new. It is impossible to concentrate or remember moment to moment or face to face. I meet one person in 1 minute and have to meet him again 10 minutes later because I've forgotten. I feel lost, especially without being able to talk to my husband, the partner who I had always believed was my best friend, too, since we were 15. Why can't I seem to do anything without him? Why am I now so very helpless and mentally crippled? I used to be the one who helped everyone else with everything, and now I am dead helpless. I know who Roger truly is now. He can't love me or give me anything in return because of my accident. He used to lean on me, and for once I needed to lean on him, and he runs away. I guess who he is now probably is who he always was. He truly was behind my colored glass paint of him anyway. I painted an image of him that he wasn't. It was always all about him. He is just incapable of caring or understanding anything I try to tell him, and I used to pretend to myself he understood. I shared everything with him since we were 15 years old, and he probably never even listened. He used to fall asleep in the middle of a conversation, though, I remember. That should have been a clear clue to me, but I just had to tell him once again how I felt about having to do things without sharing it with him. How I'm doing and the struggles I'm having. I also had to tell him about my concerns for him and his health and tell him I wanted and would still be there for him if he needed me. I think I had to tell him because I needed for him to tell me the same in return and say I could still share and lean on him and depend on him. I needed to hear those words because I'm scared. Why can't I do the things I used to find so fun and easy to do now, even though they were difficult? So I wouldn't need him so much now. What is fair about all this? March 22nd, 2001. Thursday, our daughter Peggy rolled my car on Route 111 in Wyndham. It ended up on its roof. She and my son Randy were not buckled and are very lucky to be alive. My brand new grandson, Jack, who was a preemie, was buckled in his car seat in the back, and even though the car seat came apart, half apart, it landed upside down, dangling in the car. He ended up dangling in the car seat for a while because at first Peggy and Randy crawled out of the broken window before they remembered the baby, and Randy crawled back into the car and got him, luckily. They were all checked out at the hospital and were fine. My car is totaled, though. March 23rd, 2001, Friday. Roger called today to coldly say, "Get your own health insurance because I'm marrying Marcelina next week and she is going to be put on the insurance instead of you." Surprise, surprise. He's marrying his love like a sister person. That is why he put in the divorce, that he would keep me on the insurance, his work insurance, unless it cost him something. He knew I would soon be taken off his policy to put her on, and so he can cancel me out because it would have cost him. March 26, 2001, 8:30, Monday at work. How do I feel? Well, I've been kept fairly distracted from the deepest low I've had, yet knowing they are getting married. Ironically, we've been talking about him and Marcelina and what must have happened to him to make him turn into such a monster. I believe it's true that my husband, Roger, is led away by that witch and her wine. The more I complained about his poor little helpless Marcelina, the further he pulled away from me to defend her. Yeah, right. She was helpless like a fox. She knew exactly what she was doing and how to get what she wanted. She offered him a free pass to lose his feelings, bury them in alcohol, and run off with her, the childless, self-centered midlife crisis. Should he sober up, he may regret it someday, but I don't see him ever admitting the truth about what he has done, even to himself. That's not who Roger is, and all this seems to have cost me who I was, or who I would have been able to handle this better than I have so far if I hadn't had that fall and hit my head and him leave then. He blames me and says I was the problem. Suddenly, he labels me a liar and tells the family there was nothing between him and Marcelina besides friendship, saying I was telling lies about them both admitting to me about their relationship. The family is going to see who was lying now that they are already getting married. So he will continue with her, with the lies, pretending it's still my fault. He is not going to be able to take those words back and make things right again. It's just not him to do the right thing. I can see now how I was always his conscience. And now I'm gone, and so has his conscience left. I just had the corning company in to see how much it would cost for them to put the siding on the house, because it still has no siding yet, unfinished house. And if I qualify, I could refinance at a lower percent and incorporate my other outstanding bills, including the house taxes, which would be helpful. I think I would love it. To see this house finished once and for all, I would then owe about $150,000 on the house with a 9% interest, and if I could keep it for 5 years until Jack is at least 18, then sell it, it might go for a lot more. If I could finish some of the inside of the house, like the master bedroom suite and the unfinished kitchen, that would be so great. I've got to remember to put Warren and Jack as getting the house if something should happen to me, so they will be taken care of. If something should happen to me now, the house is up in the air with Roger's name still on it. I think Marcelina could get the benefit of all our years of development and labor. I'm sure Warren and Jack would not see any of it. Or the other children. 3:30 same day. How do I feel? Well, Roger, it's funny you told Jennifer and you and Marcelina have been close a long time. And it's just like the friendship we had when we started, you and I, you're saying. And we decided to get married and fell in love. And this is what happened between him and Marcelina now, he says. That's crazy. We weren't married to other people or stealing other people's spouses to be together. We didn't have children to worry about. Besides, look at us now, you idiot. Well, Roger, don't ever compare our good, honorable beginning of life together, giving to each other and doing good things, to the evil, self-seeking life you have with Marcelina. You were a married man and she was a married woman when you set your eyes on each other. Forbidden fruit. We were free to choose each other when we were younger. Set our sights on marriage to make a good, God-loving life together. We consummated our life together, and God blessed our lifetime, time and again anointing our union with 5 biological children. God sent to us a growing family to treasure and raise with his help. But you turned your back on God's gift to pursue a childless harlot and drink and be selfish together. It was like death of your soul with an evil woman who fed you wine and both, robbed us both of all that had been good in our lives together. Your life is and will remain fruitless in many ways with Marcelina, who you live in sin with. You married your sin. You can't change that. I wonder, are you going to continue to help others when you wouldn't even help me or the children have heat or water or finish our home? You're the one who had all the training all those years of construction and plumbing and money invested in you getting the knowledges and trainings. You left us without heat on Christmas this winter. She has you so wrapped in sin you can't see straight. You ignored your true wife's cries and your children's cries, and even your own mother when she had to go for bypass surgery and you would not be there for her. And already you have been so neglectful of your family, especially your minor age sons. like not showing up when you promised to pay for Willie's tux for his prom and almost costing him one of the most important experiences of his life. Had I not run to borrow the money from his grandmother, my mom, who bailed you out yet again, Roger. How you tortured your youngest son with neglect and an uncaring heart when they needed you the most and he was crying, just like your father was to you, shunning you, shunning your other children, especially the adopted ones who you now seem to look down your nose at as unworthy of you and Marcelina, or almost like they never existed. Your pushed daughters pushed aside, neglected as their children, your grandchildren. We know you do all this to show Marcelina you don't love us anymore and you love her. You only love her and a life with her and your booze. She will just chew you up and spit you out like she did her other husband, Philip. If she ever finds a tastier morsel of a man she can seduce away from another unsuspected family, I'm sure it's quite a conquest for her, the evil temptress. Oh yes, she's innocent, sure. March 30th, 2001. This is what I am thinking. Marcelina, soon you will be standing at your mock wedding, saying your phony vows. You should know. You should know them by heart after all the marriages you've had. I hope all your efforts to destroy the husband of my youth gives you reward you so rightly deserve. As the Proverbs 5, evil temptress you are. God will create the balance for the widows and orphans to give justice for us all. I gave heart and soul to my marriage vows. I bore 5 children for Roger, 4 sons and a daughter. I helped him with his sisters and brothers, and then their children. You killed the hero in him and led him back to his alcohol and sinning ways. You pretended to be a friend visiting our home, admiring my life, and then you robbed us. Good work. You must do Satan proud. Roger, I hope your barren so-called marriage to this harlot sends forth the kind of fruit you both deserve, while we remain widowed and orphaned at your evil hands. I hope her slim body was worth your soul to you. Marcelina, I pray that all your efforts to destroy our lives, our home, our marriage, our children, our family, and friends that Roger and I shared for all these years come back to haunt you and Roger for what you are doing to us. We should forgive 7 times 7, and I pray for forgiveness for wishing this on you both. And I pray for the strength to forgive you, especially should you ever seek it. But I know you are probably damned in bringing Roger with you. Ooh, a willing victim of your black widowed spider like hypnotic snare. May God hear my cries and the cries of my children and guide us out of the evil sinking ship and help me find a forgiving heart somehow. 4,201. My selfish, dishonorable husband and even some of my adult children keep giving me more crap than I shouldn't be able to handle. Should be able to handle. But I must and I have so far. I understand they are all hurting over this and are begging for their father's attention because he abandoned them. And they seem to blame me because they know This would not stop me from loving them and being there for them whenever they need me, so they can step aside from me. They do now take me for granted, though, more than being helpful, and surprisingly to me, they and others are kicking me while I'm down, partially because of the example being set by their father. Someday this suffering will have to ease up. Someday I will be free of loving them all so much that I must let them all hurt me or take out the pain of all this on me. Someday they will all have to learn to punt for themselves, and someday when I'm gone, especially Abby, save you, and what they are doing to poor little Jack, my grandson, Abby's baby, mixed in a lying, crazy web of games and lies and drugs. Then to these girls, God saved them. March 2nd, 2001, 3 a.m. at work. And how do I feel? Well, I feel today is the first day of the rest of my life. Now I choose to live it. How I choose to live it is up to me. I can obsess over the pain of my husband and the temptress, what they did to our family, letting them hurt us yet another day is not what I want. I must somehow put them both once and for all behind us and look ahead. It was a good and proud life until this midlife crisis of Roger's. God is not done with me yet, though. There is so much more wonder to see and feel and touch in this life. It's time to seize the day. I need to teach my boys, especially, to be stronger than Roger and Marceline is messing with their lives. To go on into the future seeking the goodness and beauty and all the wonders that our God would have us learn and see. Taking the board of anger and hurt from our own eyes and letting Roger keep the board Marcelina and alcohol if he chooses to keep in his eyes. So he cannot see what he has done to the people he should have loved. I think I'm finally ready to move on and open my eyes wide to life again. I need to set an example to teach Warren and Jack especially, who are being raised without a father. They deserve better than this, and God wants them to be happy. March 3rd, 2001. How do I feel? We just got the word that the program at work is closing in October. That puts us all out of work. God says when one door shuts, another one opens. We shall see what's behind the next door for each of us. Janie, Laurel, Bonnie, Jennifer are devastated. At least they all work there with me. And of course, Jennifer, my daughter. I at least have child support to help a little bit. Not much, but I don't see that Roger would ever care about our plight. He has a board in his eye and can't see or feel for his family any longer. It's so obvious the way he misses his child support payments every month that he wouldn't pay a penny for child support if he could get out of it. I'm sure he's fallen behind like we don't need anything at all. Chapter 42. We're on the next chapter. Title: No Nightmares Last Night, Finally. March 3rd, 2001. How do I feel? Oh yeah, 'cause it's the next day, the next morning. The last entrance was the middle of the night. Well, Well, no nightmare last night. Finally, I've been dreaming and waking each night since Roger announced that he was going to marry his home-wrecking husband, stealing harlot, with her tongue-twisted lies and manipulation and sweet seductive evil. The booze he fought off for 25 years is drowning him now in a fog that blanks out memories of any of our happy times together. His desire to be free from responsibility to wife and children, to be with that woman. Our life and our children that we continue to see blessed by God so many times are all forgotten. The devil is a strong hold on him. Same old feelings about everything haunting me still. But last night I slept peaceful for the first time. Do I see a glint of hope that there is a light at the end of this tunnel? The scribbles all over this page of my journal are from my grandson. He is helping me to journal today. Believe me, the pain of it all is still so strong that some days I could just run away too. But I know I would get to the end of the street and miss my family too much. Are men, fathers, husbands so different from women? How can they just up and walk away with barely looking back, or know their children are doing without not knowing how they're doing, or without suffering and closing their eyes, or missing them, or us? I'll never, ever in a million years understand that. April 4th. Did I miss a page? No. It is morning. I think I will need to take baby steps until I'm sure it's time to make a leap of faith again and jump into my next adventure. I'm not sure if that is with a new life, new job, or new relationship. I just know it will have to be something to include the kids. I will pray for direction and let my new life through the Lord unfold when it's ready. But please, please hurry, Lord. It's so tough out here, dear Lord. I'm somewhat excited about having a new adventure with you. Please let me know if it is intended that I should open a day program in Vermont, like in Brunswick Springs Family Day program. It sounds nice. Please, dear Lord, open some health insurance for the kids and me. I'm afraid Roger is going to fail in his job and lose the insurance plan he has for the boys even. Or his health might fail if he continues to drink and smoke. Today, Joyce Myers spoke about empowerment through Jesus. We can have or have not. Negativity breeds have not. Positivity and believing in God breeds have. I choose to dwell in the have. I can do. I have good, fruitful life. Thank you, Lord. I can do. One door closes for another to open. So let's open door number 2, please. And I thank you, Lord, for the more, please. Love, Mandy. P.S. Roger and Marcelina can dwell in the cannot, have not, cannot, and have not world of their own making. He still says, even with her and his paychecks, he never has any money because of how much he must give to me and his children now. He says to the boys, he tells the boys this, I can't take you anywhere because I have no money, he says. He cancels visits with them altogether, saying it is because he has no money for gas. Even when he reminds him he can't take them fishing or just play cards with them, He doesn't even try to make time up to them or he gives just excuses why he doesn't see them. Well, it's his loss and some other guy's lucky guy's gain if he doesn't is watch out. If God should choose to direct a good, God-loving, God-fearing man into our life sometime soon, someone worthy of the blessed chance to enjoy this family, as crazy it is, this wonderful family, and show these boys and the other boys and the older children a better example of fatherhood than they are getting now from Roger. I wish I felt strong enough to just do everything on my own and not feel I need to have a hero in our lives, but the harder I've tried, the more I see it's going to be so difficult to take this journey on my own or do right by my children. I could use a little help here, some loving kindness and care for us all. Time to shop around and see what's out there, I guess. Maybe a man like my father is out there just waiting for such an opportunity to share with a good family. March 6, 2001 a.m. at work. And how do I feel? Hot flashes galore. Roger. Menopause? I can't believe at this point in my life I've been dumped out like an old dish rag. Don't feel the energy I need to keep it going this morning. I just don't feel well at all. I know I must. Just put one foot in front of the other, Mandy. I don't know what I'm going to end up doing. I don't think I can just be a writer and be able to support me and the boys, but it seems the only thing I am good at now is getting things out of my head with my imagination and onto the paper. It's silly to wish it. I need to develop some sort of career that will carry me into my old age. Now I regret that I don't have anything to fall back on because I was a stay-at-home mom for 30 years. But then again, because of the accident, I seem to have lost so much of my skills that I don't dare. So I guess if I had gone to college, it wouldn't have made any difference at all because after the accident, if I lost it all now anyway, it's the medical insurance that scares me the most. What shall I do? I can't afford it. I must decide whether I can sell the house and move to Vermont to live for less money while I try to finish raising Lauren and Jack myself, if I must. Come on, put one foot in front of the other, Mandy. But to take them away from all they know, is that even fair to them or to me? Could somehow things begin to get better here? Is it the only way I can find my sanity? If I run away, can I run away and be free of the suffering? And is that what I'm really doing? Trying to run away like Roger did? March 7th, 2001, 2:45 p.m. at work. How do I feel? The sun is bright, the air is fresh and warm. I worked in the yard at work today, digging in the garden. The better it feels like with the sun warmth on my face and the fresh air, the worse I feel inside and can't hold back tears. The sob is choking me. Why do I hurt so badly when I begin to feel anything nice? Don't I believe I deserve it? But I must not let it out in front of the clients. The holidays gone by without our family whole, without Roger and everyone still on an emotional roller coaster. Just like me, it has been so difficult. Nice sunny days are just as difficult as anything that feels good suddenly turns and feels so very sad without him to talk about it. Why? Maybe he wasn't there for me anyway. He was like talking to a wall. I built him up in my mind, I guess. He was not the man I thought he was. How long had they been playing fire, tempting their adulterous acts? The whole 6 years that he worked with her while she was married to Philip? I can't believe that could be so. But then again, I don't believe it just happened. The second after he suddenly, without warning, walked out on me, and that horrible March 25th night either. Roger was not spending hardly any time on building our home suddenly, and we started together on spending time with our family. We, her husband Philip had been knocked out of the picture, just as shocked by Marcelina's surprise divorce filing as I was with Roger's leaving. Roger spending so much time up at Marcelina's house fixing things after Philip was moved out of her 2-room camp home in Osby. If he wasn't having to go up to fix something for her, Roger was having to stop off, share off there to rest after work with so-called chest pains, calling me to say he was too sick to come home all the way yet. Then he had to spend much time helping Marcelina fix up her mother's house to sell, then helping Marcelina purchase a new house closer to work, and then both giving me all sorts of excuses for why he needs to go up there or stop by to see her, and her apologizing to me each time for needing his help and telling me how lucky I was to have him for a husband, all while saying he was like a brother to her. For him to then leave so abruptly, leaving for no reason other than he decided to have a midlife change without looking back, leaving us abandoned in a shell of a house, unfinished. I saw something was wrong between them when he acted so upset when he told me she kept seeing a man named Tim from work that was not good for her, and that made Roger unhappy after she got rid of her husband, Philip. I accused Roger of acting jealous, and he insisted she was just like a sister to him, and he only wanted what was best for her and Tim, and Tim was not it, he said. I think she was using the Tim because dangle Tim in front of Roger to make him jealous. Telling Roger how mean Tim was being to her, so Roger would feel the need to save her. She wanted to work her wiles to the point he would get jealous enough so she could sink her hooks into him and hope that he would take a stand and leave me for her. I warned him it was not natural for him to get so upset at her dating someone. That was a red flag for me. He promised it wasn't so, though. Then one thing after another. Our daughter and her husband, asking my daughter and husband to move into her 2-room cheap camp house so she could move in and pay her rent, so she could move in with her mother, so she could prepare the mother's house to sell. Roger having to help her with her and fix her mother's house to sell, and then moving her mother into a nursing home, selling her mother's house, buying the beautiful new house with all the great man type perks around the corner from work where they both worked together, and us as a family, my sons, my daughter, my husband, and me helping to pack her house up, moving her into her new house. Then suddenly Roger leaves me without no warning, says he needs a break and time to think, and so he is going to his brother Luke's for a while. The floating on the frosting on the cake of lies I found. He was with her at her house and not at his brother's, Luke's, like he had told me. At first she tried to tell me she was just giving him a place to stay while he thought things out, because Luke's house is too far from work to travel each day, even though by living with her, it takes Roger away from thinking of his children and, of course, of being close enough to come see his children. I begged and cried at her and said if she was a good Christian, she would send him back home to be with his family. So that Wednesday, she is calling me, telling me he is coming back home to me, and telling me not to expect him to sleep with me because it is going to take time for him to grow the love back. And I would have to get all the older children to move out of the house for him. Why would this woman have to call me to tell me he is coming back home to me if she was not already sinking her adulterous nails into him? If it was important to him, he would be calling me his wife himself. He had only been gone less than a week. She was acting like she owned him and acting like she oversaw whether we got back together or not. It was so obvious this had been going on for quite some time. She was a manipulative, evil woman. She did have her claws planted deep into my husband, and by then playing and manipulating him like a puppet. Had I not been sick after my suffering and trying to recover after the accident, I don't. She wouldn't have gotten away with all of this from the beginning. But I wasn't thinking. I wasn't able to think with my head bang. And this was proven when just 2 days later she was yanking him back with a dramatic call, drunk, with the pretense of wanting to commit suicide, getting him to come running to save her, and the snare was snapped shut, thus sealing her plan for them to end up together with this last final act. I think this all was just to posture her possession to me, pushing and then pulling him, calling him and threatening suicide to sink the last nail in the coffin of our marriage, with him making his final choice in the guise of heroism, telling me, Mandy, you're strong, you'll be okay, but she needs me. They obviously had been messing around by then, and she was probably playing him with the fake act she gave him of saying, "Oh, Roger, we shouldn't be doing this. I feel terrible, but I can't help it. I love you so much." It was that and the alcohol making it all exciting, forbidden fruit to spice up his midlife cheating, no good bums. Why do I still mourn and rage? The wife was the last to know, of course. I still can't believe it. Someone wake me from this nightmare. I've been such a fool all these months and all these years to invest all my youth and my life in this weak, unworthy man. March 8th, 2001. Mandy at home. How do I feel? Well, I just got a book on siding my house and roofing, and another on floors, molding, and trim, lighting, step by step, because I'm going to have to somehow find a way to do the house. The inside isn't done. The outside isn't done. Put one foot in front of the other. I'm going to side my house myself if I have to. with Warren and Jack and anyone who will help, any of the older boys that will help, of course. I can't afford to hire anyone. I'm going to put peel and stick towels on the floor in the kitchen foyer, and to the barn door and the front door. I'm going to pay the 1999 taxes that we're behind next week. That is about 4,000. I'm going to put the stair treads and rails up. I'm going to begin to wallpaper and paint the walls, the door trims and around the windows and doors, and finish the electricity my husband never finished, and hang the light in the foyer. I'd like to build a catwalk in the top of the foyer, and I want to plant a garden again, and fix the pump house and pool, and finish the barn roof. God help me. How do I feel? March 9th, 2001. How do I feel? Besides mentally and physically exhausted, well, let me see. The good news is that Peggy will be getting 2 years probation and random drug tests instead of going to jail. Now, if she can just stay straight, she better go to something like NA and AA or something that will help her soon. I should never have let her go move in with her biological mother after graduation. But thank God she can mother Jack herself. She can become a good mother, I think, I hope. Roger wants me to give him the house. Roger wants me to give him the house so he can use it as an investment, fix it and turn around and sell it. But with all these other sons, RJ, no, it wasn't. RJ wants me to give him the house. Oh, I see. But with all these other adult sons, RJ, Luke, Charles, Sam, Sean, Benjamin, no one has been there to help me much so far, all spinning out of control after Dad's abandonment. Their mother, they aren't helping their mother with the house since Roger walked out on us, but RJ wants the house. Luke said he would give me a good amount of money deal on doing some of the work for me on the house as a job with his father-in-law's business when they find some time to spare. But it already has been a year since Roger left, and I'm still waiting for any of my older sons, including Luke, to help. They know I don't have much money, and I'm trying to make up back taxes and bills the father Roger left with me with. So I can't really afford to hire people for the jobs. Funny, most of my 10 sons have had some training in construction with their father and beyond, and are working in construction fields, but do not offer to just come help me out with the family home. All of them have lived here rent-free while they saved money and bought adult toys before moving out on their own, but just because Dad's gone, run off, and abandoned, they want me to refinance and pay them to help. Luke came to help me when the pump was struck by lightning, thank goodness, and Roger refused to help us. We had no water because we needed the pump fixed. It's in the ground. The care in this family just blew apart with this divorce and with Roger leaving. And we used to help everyone else in the world. all of us as a family get together and help everybody else. Now we're in a fizzy this divorce, and everyone is blaming me in the house. I think they are all still running to escape the pain and sadness and sticking their heads in the ground like ostrich. They don't want to see the pain and sadness and suffering in my eyes and around this unfinished home their father abandoned as worthless and unworthy. So they seem to look at me as worthless, just a mother and housewife that they have outgrown need of. I'm not skilled in construction work and sports and other manly things that sons can share with their father or father-in-law. Everyone is reacting to the surprise announcement that Roger and Marcelina are getting married this month, proving I was not telling them a lie when I told them Roger and Marcelina had admitted to me they wanted to get married and be together, not as sister and brother, but lovers. They finally see he and Marcelina were lying to them all about the truth in their relationship, but they seem to want to just brush it all aside rather than risk upsetting their dad with their shock by it all. They say they don't want to take sides, yet they did take a side when they stuck up for him and acted like I was just acting crazy jealous without cause and that I was lying about Marcelina and Roger. Now they say they don't want to take sides rather than comfort me with for being treated like a liar and crazy by all of them. Most of my adult children have opened their arms wide to Marcelina and knocked me aside, but that's not taking sides, and have turned their back and closed their eyes on me and Warren and Jack and our suffering while they kiss up to their father and Marcelina. Go figure. I don't get it. Like all my years raising them and caring and loving them and being honest and honorable meant nothing to them. Now that I am a sick, helpless old lady after the accident and may need something in return, now I'm a nuisance. God help me to go on. Help me to understand why this is happening to me. Help me to heal my broken heart, but help me to put happiness back into my life and my family. What's right is right and what's wrong is wrong, isn't it? Well, then how can Roger and Marcelina not only get away with this, but come out smelling like the rose and treat me like poison ivy? What did I do besides tell the truth about what was going on between their father and mother, father and Marcelina, and they refused to believe me? They are mad at me for failing to suck it up and accept their dad running away with Marcelina and abandoning us so everyone could pretend it was okay. Or maybe they were just denying that I had problems after my accident and they didn't want to see my weaknesses. What happened to know what happened so no one must deal with any of those feelings? God help me to do what is right by my family in Jesus' name. God help me to make my children strong and happy once again, please, in Jesus' name. That was the end of chapter 42. Now we're on to chapter 43. Speak to a lawyer. April 10th, 2001. How do I feel? Well, Mom and Helen convinced me to talk to a lawyer about taking Marcelina to court for her part in ruining my 30-year marriage. I did. He feels I have cause but it will cost $10,000 down to retain him, and he doesn't believe we could get any money from Marcelina because she would probably just file bankruptcy, etc. What has she got? House in Ossipee, house near work, but both are mortgaged. He said I could get her for conspiring to covet my husband and break up my marriage, and for taking advantage of our generosity to sneak up and tempt my husband away with the booze and sweet words. Some of what it cost me was my husband's skills and capabilities that I spent 30 years helping him build, and my parents helping him pay for helping him. That I need to finish the home we began together. I feel I should do something about what Marcelina did to my family and me. April 11th, 2001. How do I feel? I am angry that the selfish thing between Marcelina and my husband continues to rob me of my wellness. Angry that Warren and Jack have had to suffer through the sick, screwed up visitations game Roger insists on tormenting them with, instead of being there for them as a father should. I at least was able to get him to do some fathering with the other children, while Roger pretends to be all but responsible free for his children. He commits their court-ordered slotted time to Marcelina in her house and her sister in her projects, and even her dogs, one of which we gave her as a pup before she took my husband. I'm angry that she continues to keep Roger's mind pickled in the alcohol to get him to do her bidding and forget his wife and children and family and friends even, or the ones that would not understand his cheating heart now. This was to be the years we spent together, enjoying our grandchildren together, and begin settling into our senior years. We were on the years that we could reap the rewards of all efforts of all these years together. It was time for it all to be blossom like a garden that we had been lovingly caring for. Our lives were proud, and we could look forward to our huge family reunions. But instead, our family divides and crumples into a scattering of fear and confusion. The loss of our family strength because of the breakup weighs heavily on all, causing disconnections and divisions throughout the family. For over 30 years, including our teen years in high school, I stood beside Roger in his dreams and rode the rail with him with every rough patch, encouraging him and helping him to build and nurture his own dreams, which were always changing, and I kept supporting him. It was supposed to be time for him to support me in some of my dreams. The kids were all growing up, one of which was to be a writer, but he couldn't give. He could just take from our relationship and then leave me to finish up for him the house and raising his youngest sons. He couldn't handle helping me out while I was trying to heal and recover from the terrible accident. Instead, he was asking more of me, like when he and Marcelina asked me to help her husband, Philip. Philip and Marcelina worked with Roger. I didn't know he was using me to get rid of Philip so he and Marcelina could be off to be together. They used me. March 11th, 2001. I can't forget to get white eggs in color for Easter eggs, shop for Easter, and get a spiral ham for Easter dinner. And for my stress and health, drink 2 cups of green tea daily Eat shredded wheat, listen to classical music, 1 minute of deep breathing, 5 minute stretches. Milk thistle promotes a healthy liver. Poor liver function causes stress to all other organs. Ketones help keep everything from brain chemicals to metabolism running smoothly. So the more of it your body produces, the more energy you have. 4/12/2001, 3 a.m. At work. How do I feel? Well, I guess I have a feeling of relief. Silly, huh? Just a bit. It's like letting some steam out of the kettle, all just because I filed suit against Marcelina for being a homewrecker. I don't think it was satisfying filing to open my divorce case to modify the visitation for Roger so he can stop being what I feel is in contempt of the divorce agreement about visitation. I'd much rather the boys had not lost their father, or that he didn't just pass by every 14 or more days like a distant relative or a ship in the wind, always always canceling because he felt he had something more important to do. It's not happy or fun knowing he has turned into such an absent dad for them. We used to be so proud of him, the kids and me. Has really come down more than a peg. But to Marcelina for slithering in and paralyzing him with her evil venom and dragging him away from his family, this sick stupor she put him in, chasing her temptations with wine. This was very wrong of her. I tried to let go and let God, but the pain and torture of it would not let up a bit. I hate this, especially with Roger being such a miserable excuse of a father, putting his harlot ahead of his children all the time. She coveted my husband and this evil woman at the well, and she should have to stand accountable for her actions, right? March 13th, 2001. Running on what with my feelings and imagination to imagine picketing outside the courthouse. Chalk up on another family to Marcelina Cretin. Okay. Home wrecker of a 30-year marriage, father wrecker, man wrecker, hero wrecker, the evil woman at the well in Proverbs 5, the temptress. She is evil. She even sees it herself as the evil conquest it is, I think. The longer the marriage, the greater the challenge for her, and the more she enjoyed at wrecking a family. Marcelina Cretin, the hero buster, Black Widow, opportunist, shame on her. She, the seductress, using sweet words and wine, such as Christian, such a Christian. What kind of Jesus do you know? Hypocrite. Another good family bites the dust. To the seductive Marcelina Cretin, she should wear a large A for the adulteress she is. That's running on feelings and imagination, she says. Mm-hmm. I just got a wave of nervous giddy over all those thoughts, those things of writing all that on the sidewalk in chalk or something, all those things. They should be getting at least my copies of the court paper that I mailed out. I wish I were a fly on their bedroom wall. My husband is such a cheating liar and an untrustworthy snake in the grass, and I cannot even say what we all know she is in all of this. Yes, I know we are divorced now, and I know that, thank God, if that's the type of man he chooses to be, I'm better off. At least he's not cheating on her with me. So I suppose that makes him feel like a good man now. the worm. Sick or not, he shouldn't have ever gone there with her. He pretends to be godly now. It's easy to play godly with the hypocrite harlot, isn't it, Roger? Because you both are such thin-filled liars. You are not burdened with a wife who insists you be a good man anymore. You can both play your selfish games. You can lie to each other, your friends, and the world, and pretend to be good church-going Christians. But God knows you are both nothing but selfish, lying hypocrites. Andy writes a poem, of course, at this point. Poem, title, I Thought We Were Forever. I thought we were forever to be together, share life's pleasure, our vows a promise to treasure, and life together measure, with pride in us forever. Why did you forsake us? Why could I not see? You are not who at all, who I thought you were, and you would never be. Why did you let us down? You're an empty-hearted clown, leaving your family to cry in tears, turning our smiles upside down. March 15th, 2001, 12:30 p.m. at work. How do I feel? I think I need a support group of some sort, not just a peer support group, a divorce or victims group. Victims of divorce group or victim of midlife crisis. God help me. When is the pain in my heart and soul going to let up? How much more can I take? I cry and I cry and I cry. I'm not going on meds. I refuse to give in. Check the computer. I guess there's some type of support group. Cry. Why? Pain. Let me go. It hurts to have to be strong. I don't have a choice. Roger, will you ever know what you have done to me? Will you ever regret? Don't we matter at all? Did you ever really care about me? Why did you keep me all these years and waste my chance of finding someone who truly loved me? If you were just going to toss me aside in our senior years, why did you lie about your feelings for me? Why did you lie about us? Why did you betray us? March 16th, 2001. How do I feel? Oh dear Lord, help me. I can't stand feeling like this. I must put on a happy face every day and look like I am just fine when I feel so bad. I must work. I must be a mother without my husband's help, knowing he caters to that barren witch. I have to prove to the kids I am okay, and we can do this without him in our lives so the scars won't run so deep. I've got to show them life can go on, and I know it does. How it goes on is up to us, isn't it? It is. But why must it hurt every waking moment? Why didn't I take more time for myself, my training, my writing, my job potentials, my future? Why did I sacrifice myself so much for him and his life, his dreams, his hopes, his needs, letting him put me last, always leaving me without nothing for myself today when I need it, now that he has taken himself out of the picture? My dedication to him lingers, and I don't know how to redirect it for myself. I need to get writing, not just my journals for my memory problems, but my short stories and children's stories, my songs, my articles, my children's story illustrations. I must get security for my family somehow now, too. I must be there for them and stay strong. I must do this for myself, too. It's been a year of fumbling and constant crying. I've made slow progress. Warren and Jack and I hold each other close and dream of escape, maybe to Vermont to escape. The pain of these sad, lonely times is confusion and fear and worry. I want desperately to run away and yet hold my home and family close at the same time. I hate giving any of it up, but it's all slipping right through my fingers anyway. Like Roger left a big hole in the bag and like the sand of our life is running out of it. March 19th, 2001, 6 a.m. Ending of my shift at work. What do I want to do? I guess I need to sell my house and move on, maybe to Vermont, and I want to become a published writer. If I say it repeatedly, it can come true, become a dream that may someday come true. I want to be a good mother, focus on Warren and Jack and their needs first and foremost. They're the last I have to raise, but the rest still need me, even the adult children. Hoping I've given enough of myself to the older children that they might someday understand what I am going through. I want to someday meet a good, loving, and sweet, kind-hearted man that will complete me and join me in loving my children and grandchildren because I need to love someone again. Only this time, find someone without so many problems so he can love me back the way I deserve to be loved. I wish I could get my house cleaned out and get it sided and move on. I can't sell it unfinished like this. No one will buy it. I wish I could in the end when this battle with Marcelina is over and celebrate good overcoming bad. I wish I could help my adult children better with the discord and the lies and this divorce is causing without it costing me so much. I don't always want to be the martyr. I'm 52 years old and some have jumped, jumped on my husband's train to kick me and put me down. It has taken almost every ounce of my of life from my heart. I can't tell if the sacrifices I made all these years were truly worth this result. Spending my youth, my vitality on building this family to be dumped like a worthless piece of garbage so he could go off free to have what he calls a life now. If that's life, let me off. God help us all. March 20th, 2001, 6 a.m. at work. How do I feel? You are a broken little boy, Roger. No self-image and setting yourself up to fail big time. You turned to alcohol like many in your family did to console yourself for the lack of love you felt from your father and stepmothers. My love pulled you up and out of that pit. I loved you and stood beside you. Your many attempts to reinvent yourself, your different career choices and your wants and your dreams. I encouraged you and found ways to get you what you wanted. And my parents were always there for you, treating you lovingly like a son, helping me pick you up when you fell and dusting you off and putting you back up on your prouder horse. Prouder horse. You carried with you your crosses. Remember your anger, your prejudices, your bitterness, and your stinking thinking and your negativity. Time and time I gave you praise and tried to show you the good in you. I encouraged you to overcome and be a good and even great man. I was your biggest cheerleader and fan supporting you through the rough battle you had to believe in yourself after your hard childhood. I was proud of your struggles and how you tried to overcome them. And you became our king and our hero in your own way. And we were proud to be your family. I did a great job helping to build you up for all those years. And you got too big for your own head, I guess. Now you snub your nose at me and the children that have the same struggles now that you had with your father, because you are becoming him, putting yourself, your mistress, your harlot, your alcohol ahead of them and me, treating them and me as if we came last, and you are too good for us. Of all the ironic upside down things, you feel too good for me, for us. You jumped right off the pedestal to run off with a fallen woman, an adulteress, a husband-stealing harlot, who cheated her own husbands to snag you. And you both claim to be so-called Christians together. What would Christ say to this all, I wonder? Roger, you never deserved me. I am so hurt and ashamed of you. I never gave up on you, Roger. You gave up on yourself to this ugly end. You are a big zero now. I wasted those 30 years on you, Roger, and this I do now know very much regret. I just don't regret the kids that came out of our relationship, of the life I tried to build for us all. I don't give up on them or the life we had as a family with them till you left. But I do give up on you. You are now a worthless father and worthless husband and partner. You are dishonorable and an adulterer and a glorified handyman for a harlot. And you are happy you say, wow, I can see now that our life together was such a hard life for you. What you used to say you wanted was a lie. All you needed was the booze and a harlot to make you happy. You said if I hadn't helped you get off the alcohol for the 25 years, you would have been dead and thanked me. I guess I really did waste your life for you if you look at it that way now, keeping that now you are living your life, keeping you from true loves, booze, and being with a harlot, Roger. You are all that Marcelina deserves. Have another drink, you two lovers. I hate you both more than I could ever express at this moment. April 21st, 2001, 3:30 p.m. How do I feel? I feel so very lost, like in a dark forest. I wish I could find myself. It's as if when she was able to sneak into our lives to steal my husband, she killed me. I wonder if I'll even be able to resemble me, who I was, I mean. I don't like what's left of me right now. It is as if she robbed more than taking my husband. She stole my sense of safety, my strong certainty in my faith, in not just God, but in people and in the world. And I can't seem to find any of it again. My faith is honesty and important things like trust, integrity, fairness, or justice is so uncertain in the cold world in front of me right now. It has been replaced with strong fear that trembles my body inside and out uncontrollably and unstoppably. A fear like I've never felt before and would not wish on anyone else forever. When will the fear and devastating lump in my throat and chest subside long enough to have at least one day without trembling, to have one night with a peaceful, unhaunted sleep, or one unfaked smile to share with my grandson? A good feeling enjoyed without it being followed up by an overwhelming, deeply saddened sob that continues to smother and threatens to escape with a loud whine or howl, like sweetness is threatened. End of chapter 43. Now we're on chapter 44. I'm titled, I'm So Tired of Trembling. March 24th, 2001, 6:30 a.m. at work. How do I feel? I'm so tired of trembling all over all this. I can't believe what he has done to me. I can't believe what she has done to my whole family. Plus, I can't believe how the world seems to be falling around me. Roger has become so shallow, so superficial, worm-like, so mean-spirited and terrible. He's so gone from us. He is so cruel and heartless. And for what? For that evil piece of garbage that hasn't got a clue about true Christianity? For a body and a drunk? He did all this? He threw away his family, his own children, his home, for another woman? He threw away most of his friends and even his town's trust in me, and he barely looks back. He spits on us like we were nothing to him and unworthy. We mean nothing to him but a pain in the neck obligation, just like his father treated them. You can take a pig out of the mud, but you can't stop him from being a pig. And in the end, he's drawn back to the filth. Wallow in it, Roger and Marcelina. It's where you belong together. God, please hear the cries of this widow and the children, and help us. March 30th, 2001. I have an appointment with Access Sports Med and Orthopedic, where I'm having therapy for my left wrist, right for the thumb and C-spine. I may return to work about May 7th if I keep wrist splint on. Work is tolerated. Still recovering from my accident. It's been a year. I'm still sad. June, February, March, April, May 1st, 6:15 a.m. I'm still sad, but not so devastated today. I hope this is progress. I hope things can start looking up now. I hope I can put everything in its proper place and deal with it healthfully. I know I have got to take the bull by the horns to help get me and my family on a healthy track before it's too late. I know I have got to shape my life so I can set an example for my children, even though I want to crawl in a hole and die. I know I can't let Roger and Marcelina or anyone else walk on us or treat us unfairly any longer. I need to be the protector now. I'm all they have, outside of when he can give a crumb, as he has shown. I wish I could win megabucks and take care of everyone and leave him in the dust with Kaka Marcelina to wallow in their greedy lives together like two steaming poops. I wish I could take all my children on a nice cruise. I just must start shedding the heavy weight of him and my hard, loveless life with him. Stop loving a stone. No more one-sided love. I was deceived for so long. I've been tormented. I was always wishing he would show love without us having to pluck it out of him. I was always wishing he could show love and receive love without it appearing to hurt him with guilt to do so, or like it took too much out of him to do so. When we received a crumb of attention from him through the years, we treasured it because they were so far and few between, and usually never without prompting. I think he enjoyed it when we built him up like a hero and he took the credit without too much complaint. We were proud of his efforts and encouraged him to keep trying and to be in charge of everything that was happening. Scouts, Little League, and such. Even though I had to practically kick him and cry to get him to even get involved at first with these things with the children. It obviously it it is obvious now how much he hated it all. He hated doing the repairs around the house, to always putting it off. He kept always putting it off. And he hated making sacrifices for us. He hated having so many children to raise. He hated sharing toys with them, even though most of the time they were supposed to have belonged to the children. There wasn't a Christmas that went by that he didn't take something from one of them and put it up before the end of the day, because he said he didn't want them to break it, or he would use it to punish them so he could play with it himself later. He would say, "What's the matter with you? Give it to me. You're going to break it. You can't use it anymore. You're grounded," with no cap on the amount of time they were grounded. Whenever anyone asked for anything, his first word out of his mouth was no. He would get irritated at the children when they were just trying to be near him, especially while he putted around the house or yard. I would have to coax him to let them try to help him, or beg him to take one of them with him to the store or to the dump and include them in a little project. But after just moments with the children, he would be grouching at them and sending them away. It was like they were an inconvenience to him. He would say things like, "You can do it. Just get out of here. You can't do it. Just get out of here. I'll do it myself." Or, "Get away from it. You'll mess it up." Or even if it was the child's own school project. Yet he didn't seem to have any trouble working with other people's children, like on the Pinewood Derby cars. For Scouts, I would try to soften things between him and the children. I had to believe he didn't mean to be like this. I would make excuses for him to the children and other people, too, so they would not feel the sting of his rejecting nature that he said he learned from his father. I would tell the kids how much he loved them, how he dreams about them at night and worries about them, and how he couldn't help it because he had a hard childhood and they forgave him each time and loved him stronger. I should have known by these and many other things that Roger did during the marriage and raising our family that it would be just a matter of time before our family life would crumble. But I was an opportunist. I thought I had lots of years left to get things for myself, and I lived through the happiness in the lives of my husband and children and their happiness, like many women do. May 4th, 2001, 6 a.m. at work. I know I must slow down soon and address my plans for the future. Try to call the ranch again, Randy again, to see if the place in Vermont is still available and for how much. My goal is to shed my life of pain with Roger leaving me has left me with, and hopefully finish the vinyl siding on the house and sell it, move with the boys to Vermont, put major efforts into making the boys happy, and try work on my career in writing. I hope to be successful enough to support myself and then comfortably retire up there. I know I must slow down my depression, running, my depressive running, and mental confusion enough to not only achieve these goals, but to stop Roger's poor parenting from tormenting the boys by bringing the issues to the judge. Maybe they can stop Roger from being so uncaring and mean to the boys and get Marceline off their backs till they can cope better. I wonder if I sell my house, if I can use the extra money to get a secured loan myself at a low interest and give myself a loan. I've got to get onto the siding and get the pool going would be nice too for the boys. I'm getting my papers set for going to court about Roger's visits or lack thereof, and get my papers together about getting custody of Jack, and be ready to go to court about Stevie, my other grandson. May 8th, 2001, Tuesday morning. My horoscope yesterday, and something miraculous was going to happen yesterday, and that I would be amazed. Of course, as I started to think about what that might be, I found myself once again hoping my husband would conclude that he had made a mistake and come home a better person, for ready to seek help and help his family recover. I thought I was ready to move on, but I see it still is against my will. I wish Roger did not turn out to be such a knucklehead for a skirt. I wish he could see what he is doing is so wrong before it's too late for us to salvage anything that might be left of our family together. I know I must stay away from him. I can't stand or believe he married her so soon, the jerk. I'm afraid I might find someone else, and I'm afraid I won't find someone else. And yet, will I always be so confused? I'm damned either way. I wish he would come back and work things out and save our honor together, but I know down deep that will never happen. It's hard to believe I might be able to commit to someone else someday after all these years committed to a man like Roger. I hope I can, if the right man comes along, feeling guilty about it. Otherwise, I'll have to accept that I am destined to be alone, because I couldn't live feeling like I'm doing something wrong. Roger, I must be crazy, but I still miss you in our life, and wish this didn't happen. Just call me crazy, even though I guess you never did truly learn to love me, or you could have never have, or maybe you never did. Give it a break, hand. Give it up, Mandy. Give it up. You don't need his sickness in your life anymore. Let go and let God himself save Roger, if he ever is going to be saved. Your sad 15-year-old best friend has grown and is still a sad mess in making you one too. He pulled you down. May 8th, 2001, 11:30 p.m. How do I feel? I hope Roger and Marcelina are miserable. I can't believe what they have could do could be real love. I can't believe that selfish acts between them can go unpunished. I hope they both torture each other the way they have tortured me and the family. I hope they get all they deserve. March 9th, how do I feel? Well, the good news is I spoke to Randy about the property, and it is not yet sold. Several people have looked at it, though. He had another offer of $170,000. Yeah, but they did not get back to him. He said he would consider holding the mortgage for me if I could sell my house and get a substantial down payment. Time to get going, save money, get packing, cleaning, siding, mudding, taping, painting, get the stairs built if possible. I'm so nervous, excited about the possibility. Randy seems to think we could do it, could raise Morgan's horses like him, and he said he and his wife were willing to teach me. I don't know, but I think it would be good for the boys. I've also been kind of tired. I think I need to focus on taking my vitamins drink and trying to lose more weight. I know I'd like to feel healthier, and my stamina is low. Food makes me tired. So I just had my vitamin drink and I start again. To get today. I hope I can keep it up this time. I have got to lose 120 pounds for perfect weight. Miles to go before I sleep. Today is May 9th. I go to court with Roger on May 25th. That's 17 days from now. So I'd like to lose 20 pounds or 17 by then if I can. Let's see if I can. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go. You go, girl. You need stamina to run that horse farm. You can do it. Get the horse house done and sold. Good luck. May 9th, 2001 and May 10th, 2001. Wednesday evening, Thursday a.m. How do I feel? I can't believe I'm learning to live without my so-called life with Roger. I didn't think I could, but I'm finally experiencing moments where I think I might be able to go on after all. I'm a little sad about having to finish our life adventure without you, but I want to do the adventure and embrace it. Maybe this is the turning point. Maybe was the best. I hate thinking like this. I will always wish we could have finished this adventure hand in hand, but I cannot sit and wait for you wasting my days, moving like a snail, hoping to see you catching up from behind, running to be with us again. It's getting easier to talk and relate to other men and think of seeking other possibilities, or friendships, at least, and maybe even find a life with someone worth living. I'm back to the same old open door policy, helping others. Kathy and her girls just moved in. It feels good to be productive, active, and going forward one step in front of the other and helping someone else. It's easier when you're helping someone else. I am still fighting the feeling of anger and hate from Marcelina. God help me. I will try to let go of hating her, but I will always hate the sins she shared against us. Poem written. Purpose. Title is poem. Purpose. We often wonder what our worth, the secret purpose of our birth. We struggle, toil to do our best, then wonder, did we pass the test? We cannot please the world, that's true, or be appreciated for all we do. We fight the waves that push us back and often wonder what we lack. But try we must move along, with head up proud and chin up strong, knowing not another way to live our journey, our life, but kneel and pray. Journal entry, another poem titled Strong. When he left, he said I was strong. He said she needs him to get along. Part of me wished that he was wrong, but he was right, and I must go on. Together we could save the world, but instead of mountains, he moves that girl. Now they live with drunken kiss, with me and the children off his list, as they partnered together in alcohol bliss. Once a hero he stood, tall and grand, now by many throughout the land, known by many throughout the land. But now he's just a selfish mess, nothing left for God to bless. Amen. Next journal entry. Remembering the Bible teachings. First Job 38, verse 12. Have you ever given orders to the morning or shown the dawn its place that it might take the earth by the edges and shake the wicked out of it. The earth takes shape like clay under a seal. Its features stand out like those of a garment. The wicked are denied their light, and their upraised arm is broken. Roger, I wonder all this talk you give now that you're with this harlot talking about God suddenly because she's such a devout Christian. What is the depth in this godly talk anyway? What truth is in it? Do you both avoid Proverbs 5 of the good book altogether? You speak of Psalms, yet I believe now you have no true knowledge or understanding of God. You just use it. Do you just avoid the parts of the Bible that try to speak to you of what you are doing to your wife and children? Yes, you do. I think this is so that you and dear Marcelina can play at being the good and righteous Christian couple and avoid the truth. God's words speak clear of your adulterous lust for each other and your sins that now are working to destroy the family which was given to you by God as a gift for so many years of being blessed by God. Don't you see that your children and I, the wife of your 30 years, inheriting the pain and suffering of your sins, just like you felt as a child by your own father's adulterous, alcoholic ways? I was the wife of your youth, and sacrificing all others, gave myself completely to you and your life. Before you shook up our lives, I felt we were blessed and guided as a family by the Holy Spirit. And then you strayed like a tomcat, and you shake up the spirit, setting it off balance with your wickedness. I can only pray that somehow we will get through this. I will survive with God's strength, God willing. Somehow I will overcome the pain and suffering you continue to inflict on your children and me, but not without God's help. I will pray and do my best to reconnect with the Holy Spirit of the Lord, which could guide me and lift me out of this mess you left us in. Hopefully he will guide me out of the commitment in my heart that I made for you for all these years of being a wife to a selfish man of ignorance who never did love the Lord or his family, I think. Yet now you pretend to be a Christian and supposedly no longer fall asleep in church during service, now that you're with that adulterous, sinful woman. Chapter 45, I believe, maybe, yeah, the last chapter, starts with a poem titled, I Wonder. Just how did I get here anyway? It was my girlish sweetness. It wasn't my girlish sweetness. It wasn't my faith-filled way. It couldn't have been the children that sent him packing that day. When did I need to worry? When he was spending too much time fixing our dear friend's plumbing and just ignoring mine? Why did helping turn to a crime? Why did I see he was slipping? Why didn't I see he was slipping, falling under the adulterous spell? She sat in my home saying how lucky I was, while she tempted him to drink at her well. After 30 years, how could he fail us? How dare he fall under her spell? I would never believe he could do this. I thought I knew him so well. Is a midlife crisis hell? It's a midlife crisis hell. Now I sit and wonder, what was the 30 years about? Did he lie when he said he loved me? I just want to scream, cry, and shout. What the heck was our life all about? Why did he say he wanted children? Why did he stay with me so long? Why did he take the years of my youth if the love we shared wasn't strong? Running off with a childless heartlet just seems so wrong. How dare he make our years together just like words in another sad song? When Mom begged me not to marry this man, I guess she was right all along. I thought my loving him would save him. I was so very wrong. 12:15 a.m. May 1st. Roger was served in hand by the deputy of the Stafford County Sheriff's Office court papers for our hearing about his visitation problems and such. 6/4/2001 journal entry. Concentrate, plan, investigate, organize, execute. Be prepared for anything. Do the research. Come on, Mandy, you can do it. This sort of stuff used to come easy to you. Write it down. Think it through. Be ready. Have faith. Be armed with the truth and God's help. Do not be caught unprepared. Stop putting things off. Make a plan and stick to it and be ready. Research laws and findings. Research lawyers and legal aid. If pro se, prepare. And prepare for kids' homeschool and testing. House prep and sell. Move to Vermont to get away from all this crap. I wrote this letter to Roger in or around May 1st, I think. It was 2001 or 2002, but I'm not sure of the year it was. I forget to date it, and I didn't always send this so-called letters out. I'm just writing in my journal to express my feelings, but a few times I did send these emotional dumping notes or letters, I think. My dear best friend and husband of my youth, forgive me for all the terrible things I've said while confiding into my journals, while hurting because of the way you left me. I know it's been difficult for me to handle all this, especially while dealing with my traumatic brain injury. What a time for you to leave me while I'm trying to recover. What a time for you to have your midlife crisis and escape your life with me and your children. I wish I knew how to spare each of us what that time in our lives cost us instead of adding to the problem. I don't know why or for what purpose these things had to happen to us as a family. I continue to believe in those years together and our efforts with the children and helping people and helping your family and your siblings and their children. We gave many good years of love, sacrifice, and dedicating to all of them, to our worthy life together, growing our special melting pot family and helping others along the way. I believe by the miracles we both saw during those years that God continued to bless us and help us through many rough times, that our life together was being blessed. If we could just let God heal us and set things right on the path He intended for us, maybe God would begin to comfort us with His blessings once again. I spent as much time crying and screaming and fighting over what was happening to us. I felt I could never feel the warmth from God again, but slowly He began to warm me once more. I tried very hard to chase the love I had for you during the life during and the life we shared together out of my heart after you left us. But also, alas, whenever I feel any joy or happiness, I long to share it with you or tell you about it. I cannot seem to fight the empty spot in my heart without you by my side to finish this life we spent so many years developing together, from high school to almost forever. You are my life breath. Our lives just do not seem blessed by God the way they were when we were together. I feel like God is waiting for us to learn from all this and get back on the track He planned for us. Maybe it's just me. Maybe it's just because although I've tried very hard, I've failed at giving up on you in our lives, no matter how hopeless it seems. Things are going uphill and downhill, but mainly being better in many ways for me at last. When things go well and I feel like smiling, I miss you the most. I want my husband here to share the rewards of our labors. When your children are happy and doing something funny or fun, I want to share the happy moments with you, like I was always able to when we were husband and wife. When they need you, I want to be able to reach out to you and know you will be there for them and us. Life has no breath left in it without you breathing it with us. I worked hard to cut these strings from my heart, and for a while I was even able to convince myself that God did not want you in our lives anymore, and that's why you were able to be tempted away from us. I had to make that decision because before I made that decision, I could not live without you. Once I convinced myself of that decision, things seemed to get better, sort of. But the better things got get for me and our family are the more mountains I can climb, even without you. The more I find myself missing sharing these accomplishments with you. I find myself with hope and dreams opening to me, wishing you could share the good times, support me and the kids that still need you so much with the tough times, and grow strong with us again. Since you told me of your health issues again, I fear for you, and you haunt my dreams. I wish I could be there for you and make your life easier. I wish you could be with us and share all the happy moments that are not as sweet without you to share them with. And since you told me of your health, I've cried for you out of knowing it would come to this, and wishing I could have somehow prevented it from happening. Now the dreams are growing stronger and lasting longer, as if you are here, even though you are not. And even though I have allowed myself to admit I still wish we could be a family together, you and I can still feel the warmth of God's love and direction in my life growing despite my convincing myself early earlier that God wanted you out of my life. I hang on the faith, allowing me to embrace the hope that someday, if you are not loved the way I could love you, and your family could love you, and you are not protected and cared for and helped the way I could protect you and care for you and help you, and your family would protect you and care for you, then maybe you might come home to us and finish what we started together so we can all help each other make a better future for all of us as a family group and fulfill our destiny and enjoy the harvesting of the best of our lives work together. Call me crazy, but I believe God wants me to tell you about this hope anyway, even if you never come home. I think you know your work here is not finished, nor is mine. I cannot do it as well raising your family alone without you. You have two wonderful sons left to raise that are lacking what they need to give them a better life as men. I believe they need you and your love to complete them, and they need you to pass to them a legacy of your love for them to pass on to their own sons. And though your acquired knowledge and skills pass down from father to son, I'm sure all your children, young and old, can benefit from this and need to see love and forgiveness between you and I, and can learn this forgiveness and learn from our mistakes that they might have a chance to be all that God intended for them to be. Your family needs your love and support to finish growing and blossoming into what was intended as or possible, not just so they can be there for us as we approach our last stage of our life and could begin to reap the harvest of our efforts given to raising them, but to help them build themselves up strong enough in love and faith to face their own challenges and raise their own families with God's direction and purpose in mind. I want to be there for you, Roger. I need to be there for you. And although you may not be ready to accept this, I still must tell you how I feel. I love you even still. I've fought it, and sometimes I think I'm okay with it. And when there is a long lack in time between hearing your voice or hearing something about you, I think I've conquered the love feeling. But then I hear your voice and can see it just does not die down or go away. I've tried to hate you, feeling that was the only way I could stop loving you and step away and save myself from sadness at your loss. And so I could at least go on and finish the job we took on together. But I can't help loving you for the years God continued to bless us as husband and wife and gave us many miracles that happened for our family, like we were God's spoiled children for a while. With each mistake made, our problem at hand, God lifted us up over and over again. I believe He still would if we asked Him to. I've loved you my lifetime. I've loved our life together with the good and the bad. I haven't always understood it, but I believed in our life together. You are not perfect, and neither am I. I still believe in you, and I wish you could still believe in me. I don't know why this all happened to us. Maybe just to open our eyes up to something we don't know about yet, or to prepare us for the tomorrows. But I don't believe it was to ultimately end our adventure together so abruptly or permanently. Let me be there for you. We still have so much left unfinished that was us. I have a plan. I can only hope the plan is within God's will, because then it might take shape and heal us. I have a hope and a dream, and that has been taking shape that is not as sweet without sharing it with you. I want to make life easier for you, help you finally retire and enjoy fruits of our labor. I have $25,000 to invest right now within a short time. I will hopefully have extra income coming in from these investments, and my investments advisor says I will have access to 100,000 more to invest in just 2 months. We still have this beautiful dream house. We've gotten a lot more finished with it, but the frosting is still here for us to finish together if you would like. If things go well, we could pay it down again. This wonderful home that somehow has kept the family hanging on and Warren and Jack growing even though through the mud and our mistakes was slung on at it. This home that keeps steadily increasing in value. It is here for us to become us because of our life together and stands waiting for us to either finish the final touches that could be painted with love to enjoy with our children, grandchildren, or given over to be invested to rent or sell for more security so we can retire into our dream for a beautiful cottage on the lake where our children can come in summertime to swim and fish with Papa. You have worked so hard for so many years. The reward for all these years and efforts is still there for you if you want it. They promise to lift you up and place you safely into a well-deserved retirement with the peaceful, stressless, quiet, with financial security on the porch of our cabin by the lake. Help to make this dream take shape for us. Teach your youngest sons you still love them, and give them the skills, knowledge that, like God instructs you to do, and teach them the love and things. Teach them the love and things only a father can teach them. Help begin to grow your family kingdom again like it was intended to grow. How lucky you are to have so many sons and have another chance to develop them like Luke and Charles, to be a comfort to you in your old age. You are still alive and still able to give Warren and Jack and Randy and any one of your other children a chance to be part of something real and strong and proud again. A chance at the life God gave you to take care of. Let those that are left and willing to jump on board to build a family heritage that was yours and can be passed down from generation to generation. And let your children and family lift you up and carry you with dignity into the next phase of your life on the seat of honor, where you were meant to be with the family. Have the faith to invest in your children and your family that God blessed you with. It's not too late. Your son, Luke, wanted to do this for you with you once. He was ready and proudly waiting for the dreams to take shape when he came home from the Navy, but you hesitated and were being lulled into temptation, preoccupied and forgot your plans and promise to him and your vows to me. So therefore your lost was Dick's, his father-in-law's gain. He was a lucky man in the right place at the right time, and he and Mona now reap the harvest of your hard-working life efforts as you run off with Marcelina. Does it give you pleasure to see the fruits of your labor and investment in your sons spent on building Dick and Mona's home and business and retirement instead of your own? It wasn't supposed to happen that way, and wouldn't have if you hadn't gotten distracted from your family by what you thought would be green grass. I wonder, was it greener? Maybe for a while it seemed to be, but at what cost, and cost still? Fred had nothing, and his household was dysfunctional too, you know. They were having so much trouble with their son too. Luckily our sons came along to make things better for them. It wasn't his own children that lifted them up, it was ours. They had been deep in debt, and his company was doing next to nothing, right? IRS was after them year after year, Beverly said. And our firstborn biological son was ready and anxious to build on our future with you, working with you, developing a business with you. But you were distracted by what you thought might be greener grass in another field far from your own home. The youth and energy of your son was yours to tap, and you had earned it. You could have had help in the shadows of your years. Now Mona and Dick enjoy the fruits of your years' love and devotion and training of your sons, Luke and Charlie. They have made their own small camp home into a beautiful kingdom addition, and Fred's company grows from our sons' labors to lift them out of debt and into security. They have even been able to buy more property and rent it out to Luke and their daughter, Maisie. Now that that laugh out loud. That should have been our rewards. We regrew them and trained them to that point and taught them. You gifted Dick what you and Luke had planned to do as father and son. When you got distracted and decided not to go into business with Luke because you were chasing Marcelina, when he came home from the Navy like you had promised him, all the skills and goodness you and I taught him while raising him were spent elsewhere and came into blossom for Mona and Dick. And now they reap the rewards of our son's ambition. Their company flourishes from our son's efforts Their home grows beautifully from our son's skills and efforts, and Mona and Dick have the money and time to enjoy their later years better than you and embrace our sons as their own. But you are still very lucky. Most men only have one or two sons. You have had many, and you still have two ready for blossoming. You could have the opportunity to help them grow and be wonderful, productive, and valuable members of your home, your family also. Are you going to be there when they do? Are you going to help them develop into strong, perfect blooms? Will you get to pluck them for your own this time and smell the sweet fragrance for yourself? I don't promise you there isn't much tilling and mulching and tending to do, because there are many weeds growing around them with little contact with you, their father, while you've been gone. And I'm not saying it will be easy getting Warren and Jack on track, and I know you will still need to work hard to finish what we started together with them and the rest of the family too. I'm saying hopefully if you are willing, the rewards will come when you need them. When life gets more difficult for you, your sons might be ready to lift you up, like Luke and Charlie now lift Mount Mona and Dick up. You can get all you might need from Warren and Jack if you put your efforts into these last two sons while they need you so very much in their lives, and I truly believe you will not be sorry. Meanwhile, just in case you're still not willing already to come back on board, the quest we set out together to develop so many years ago, I will try to set out now to develop our family business, yours and mine, as a melting pot family, hoping someday you will decide to join us once again. Silly maybe, but I just can't help it. It would be so much easier if you could come home to teach Warren and Jack your many skills, but if not, I will have to work around it and find a way to continue to compensate as best I can. But they are missing out, and if they continue to grow without you, like the hen that found the wheat, if we do not help to plant the wheat, harvest the wheat, and thrash the wheat, and make it into bread, we will not be able to enjoy the taste of the wheat when it is finished, like Mona and Dick are doing with our Luke and Charles now instead of us. I hope one day you will see what a wonderful life still waits for you that was God blessed, and give us the chance to let our lives go full circle. I still hope to be there for you when you need me with loving tenderness and devotion and hope. Love always and forever, with or without you. Your Mandy. P.S. I've made you a family photo album of the accumulation of our many years as a family together for your birthday. Please remind Warren and Jack, or Jack, to give it to you next time you come, if not, if I'm not here. This is Mandy's last page and last poem. False Promises is the title. If he said he'd never hurt me, he'd be truthful till the end. Who was I to doubt those words? He was my dearest friend. So we took our journey together as he shared his life with mine. When youth was then invested, all spent, both his and mine, he up and left us empty to commit the adulterer's crime. It's been a little over a year now since the worst of it began. There is an end which begs new beginnings, as this life must go on. Much healing is still needed, and the struggle is not done. So my life-saving journals continue, for I must go on for everyone. Finished the book, the first book of The Spending of Our Life's Breath by Amanda Grace Windward, the poetry from a life well spent. Now, as I end, I'd like to read this ending piece I wrote, ending for the first book, read of The Spending of a Life's Breath by Amanda Grace Windward. A live read by Linda Curtin. Well, folks, here we are at the end of this first book of a 3-book series about Mandy Kelly, taken from journals that helped to guide her from one life into an unknown future. This read for me was very difficult for a number of reasons, and another health tool for me. And a difficult read for a number of reasons because, but most of all, as some of you may have picked up on as you watched and listened to me read chapter after chapter of this story based on this difficult true life, that it is in fact my story, written by me, with my pen name Amanda Grace Windward. Yes, it is based on my own life's journey and taken from those difficult daily journals I needed to write in order to keep putting one foot in front of the other to not just survive my accident and then divorce, abandonment of my husband, but to push forward. When survival after first losing myself meant not just trying to heal where tragedy left me standing alone, but then somehow refusing to give up and find the strength to move forward, to redefine myself, and then make the adjustments as I walked an unexpected, scary new path with the new self, who was a stranger to me. The journals helped me to set a path in motion, putting each planned step to paper to guide my new steps, guiding me because I could no longer rely on the mental and emotional strength I used to have before my accident. While suddenly an accident stole my identity, causing me short-term memory along with other issues, physical and mental. Among other things that used to define me, I lost my identity. I lost my skills. I lost all my strength gained from years of experience in raising a melting pot family of 13, of all my life events from birth on that defined me, all suddenly washed away in this oblivious place I did not know. It's like going to a strange land. That gave the realization that those skills would not be coming back. I did first have to learn what was fixable and do so while saving myself, and then decide whether to bother saving myself. And then decide whether to just quit my life or move forward seeking a new path. Once I've found sort of some of who I now was. And because I had children depending on me, I knew I had to do my best to make the best of it all that I could, to set the example for them so they might have a chance at a better future, especially than the better future than their father had. This did give me the determination to not just push on, but find hope once again and adjust to more challenging but whole and good new life that I could learn to accept of myself, the new me, which has been taking years to get